In our news bulletin for this evening, the Ridge to Reef project inception workshop was held today for a more in-depth discussion about the project nationally. The New Zealand High Commission has clarified that the New Zealand Air Force plane was on a training mission before making a brief stop in Niue to drop off supplies. Niue is set to host the PIPSA meeting for the very first time. Makia village starts fundraising for their village memorial cenotaph for soldiers who served during World War I. Niue's Ridge to Reef project has been approved and a national inception workshop was held today in preparation for the next phase of implementation. Work to develop a project proposal for funding from the Global Environment Facility has taken a few years, but the project titled Application of Ridge to Reef Concept for Biodiversity Conservation and for the Enhancement of Ecosystem Service and Cultural Heritage in Niue was endorsed in April of this year. Niue's Ridge to Reef project is worth $4.2 million, and that is to be used for the next 5 years. It is funded by GEF with co-financing from NZ and UNDP and administered through the Ministry of Natural Resources.
Because this project was designed and some people, this 2 years ago we put through. So it's basically introducing the project again and getting people to say, is it still valid? Is it still still relevant? So basically confirming that this is still the intention that we want. We won't be able to change the outcomes of the project, but we will be able to probably amend some of the activities too. But as long as they continue to support the outcomes, we're on a roll. So that's basically it is part of all project that comes through in this size. You've got to come through an inception workshop so people understand what's involved. I'm hoping to see village councils come in or even represented from some of the groups so they can understand how they can be involved. We'll look at how, again, building from lessons learned, how we could ensure that their communities are going to be benefited. Find a way, proposal that they submitted during the process when we're designing it, find a way how we could work with them to deliver some of this proposal. Even though the project has been approved, we've still got to go through that process.
The workshop today had a number of key stakeholders from government and community groups present to revisit and discuss the approved project document areas that required in-depth discussions on financial components and budgeted activities, but most importantly, to present Ridge to Reef nationally. Sustainability is at the core of this concept, and community engagement is paramount to its successful implementation.
The concept is Ridge to Reef, and it's focusing more on the biodiversity and also working on also the cultural and the heritage aspects of Niue. This project it's largely will be dependent, from my perspective, on the community engagement, because a lot of the area we're talking about just the land and the marine resources we're talking about. So the Ridge to Reef concept is that anything that from the ridge all the way down to the sea. At Niue's case, we don't have a ridge, though, but we do have, reef to reef concept. So anything to do with biodiversity, from the forest area to land, right down to the coastal areas and the marine sector as well. So communities, especially for land, we are the one who have access to the land. In terms of the community have knowledge of where areas that are supposed to be tapu, right? That we're areas where there should be some conservation because of the culture or the heritage linkage or significance. So a lot of this information is with families or villagers, and it hasn't been documented. I think the aim of this project is to try and ensure that they're documented, but also give the significance they are protected areas. There may be some confusion where people were concerned is that if it's a conservation area or protected area, we can't have access to our land. I think those are the things that we'll be working with the community because it's up to the community what do they want, whether it's a conservation and still be able to go and access your land or access the sea. With a conservation, then you just close it for a particular period. A lot of this would be with the community. So that's that, yeah. But it's really trying to manage to ensure there's sustainable use, sustainability of the resources we have.
The two major components within this project are catalyzing conservation initiatives at site and landscape or seascape level through Ridge to Reef approach, and to strengthen knowledge capacities and partnerships with linkages with related initiatives, policies and frameworks. The arrival of the Royal New Zealand Air Force plane to Niue last Saturday morning created a stir in the rumour mill amongst the locals, a rumour that not only reached the New Zealand High Commission office but also the New Zealand public. This rumour prompted a response from the New Zealand High Commissioner in Niue that the Hercules from the Royal New Zealand Air Force was on a routine training flight through the Pacific region, and through collaboration between the resident New Zealand High Commissioner and the local supermarket Swanson's and its suppliers in New Zealand, an arrangement was made to drop off the much-needed supply of flour to Niue. His Excellency Ross Arden of the New Zealand High Commission informed the Broadcasting Corporation that all his office did was to facilitate the transportation of the goods to Niue. And according to the manager of Niue's local supermarket, Swanson's, Amanda Pita, she was contacted earlier last week by the New Zealand High Commission office after it was apparent that there was a shortage of flour on the island, and identified what could be done to alleviate the problem at short notice. Niue was not the only scheduled stopover for the Hercules. Other destinations were Samoa and Tonga, and they also had supplies on board. The New Zealand Royal Air Force do this routine training runs to the Pacific region a few times a year, and Niue's shortage of flour just happened to be at the time they were due in the Pacific. It wasn't a special flight to bring Niue the much-needed supply of flour. But on a positive note, the boat is also in port, so hopefully there will be more supply on board. Niue is about to host the Pacific Island Political Studies Association meeting for the first time, and more than 20 academics are expected to start arriving for the 3-day meeting. PIPSA was established in Hawaii in 1987 at the meeting of Pacific Island scholars who recognized the need to stimulate and coordinate research and other academic activities to develop knowledge and understanding of the region by providing political, economic, and social analysis of contemporary issues. The biennial meeting was last hosted by Tahiti in 2014, where Niue also put forward their bid. We spoke to some of the local organizers to find out more about the meeting and PIPSA.
PIPSA is now a leading international academic body devoted to the study of the Pacific Island states and territories, their societies, politics and systems of government, and international relations. While the majority of PIPSA's members are academics, members come from ranks of aid workers, business people, the clergy, military officers, politicians, and also public servants. And although oriented to political analysis, PIPSA's conferences encourage interdisciplinary, and PIPSA welcomes contributions from anthropologists, historians, geographers, environmental studies, literary studies, and other fields.
The Niue chapter and local organizers are preparing for the meeting that will be based on the theme Political Change in Oceania, Local, National and Regional Challenges. This is the first time this meeting is being held in Niue, and it opens up an opportunity for presentation of a range of papers that will hopefully inspire some of our own academics to do more research and have more locally produced documents and studies.
It is conceivable that there are benefits to be gained out of having to host this conference here on Niue. Come to think of it, there is paucity of written or documented history, or else the activities, political activities, economic activities, social activities. There is paucity of those that is written by our own people. So, like I mentioned in Niue, there are only a few of us who were able to document those things, and it's a good thing for us to have, and also to inspire those people who have completed their first degree to go on and attempt postgraduate studies, and then from there to research and analyze their findings, and also to document it. When they are documented, it's good. We leave something behind for the next generation.
About 30 regional representatives are expected, and this has had challenges considering the conference is primarily self-funded.
The funding for this conference is self-funded, which means that we, the 4 team members of the Niue PIPSA chapter, which consists of Bifatonga Hai, Maru Talangi, Dr. Josie Tamate and myself, we've had to fundraise ourselves for this meeting, but we've also had a lot of support from the Niue business sector, and we're very appreciative of their assistance to us.
The PIPSA meeting will be held at the Niue Golf and Sports Club next week from the 13th to the 15th of July. The Makia community is raising funds to help with the construction of a memorial cenotaph in remembrance of Makia soldiers who served during World War I. Makia is one of the few remaining villages that does not have a memorial plaque, and the village council as well as their RSA representatives have decided to make a move and work towards raising $10,000 that will help with the initial developments.
Well, when we discussed the project, we identified as we need to plan it, come up with a design. We did that, and also cost it. So we cost it out as about $10,000 to complete it, or complete it, erect it, and everything. Hence the $10,000 we targeted at a particular time.
The fundraising event that was held last Friday proved to be a success, raising more than $8,000. A great number of donations were received from families and friends of the Makia community. Fundraising efforts are on track, and support has poured in from people to help make this dream a reality.
When we actually implement the project, if people wish to assist when we do the actual construction, they may do so if they wish, because I'll be drafting the work program soon to circulate to the members of the committees and also to the wider community when we're going to start in particular days that we need extra help from people.
According to the chairperson of the Makia Development and Progression Committee, the construction of the new cenotaph will hopefully commence by the end of this month and be completed by the end of September. They are expecting to launch on the 13th of October this year. That concludes our news bulletin for this evening and for this week. We do hope that you have an enjoyable weekend ahead, and join us again for our next news bulletin on Tuesday next week. Don't forget to check out the Alofi South Marine Day this coming Saturday.